I was at school one day. It was 2015. I was in my physics class, and I get a call from my dad saying that I need to take my mom to the hospital right after school.
After I was in the emergency room for about an hour, the oncologist came out and told me that I had cells similar to his patient of leukemia. I was in shock and disbelief.
So the next day I came back up, and the doctor comes in and says that she has cancer. She has leukemia, and she may not make it.
2 days later, he gave me a confirmed diagnosis. I had acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
And the first thing I thought of was that she's going to be fine. Everything's going to be cool. Because a few years before that, she had breast cancer, or pre-breast cancer. And that was fine, because she's only going to be as strong as we are. So I got to be strong for her. I'm trying to think positive. I'm not really worried about anything.
He discussed the treatment plans that included chemotherapy as well as a bone marrow or a stem cell transplant. He gave me my life expectancy if I didn't have a transplant. He said that I would only live for about a year and a half. He said that the chance of finding a matching donor for me was very slim. There are not many donors on the registry who have the same race and ethnicity as me. Then the oncologist decided to check my children's blood against all odds. The testing confirmed that both of them were in fact a match for the transplant.
And then I find out that there's a procedure that we can do. And I'm all for it, I just want to give life to the person who gave me life.
My son was chosen to be the donor because he has an antigen that my daughter doesn't have. I went in the hospital 7 days prior to my transplant for chemotherapy to wipe out my immune system. My son went into the hospital for an outpatient procedure to harvest his bone marrow.
I go through the procedure. I wake up, I feel fine. I don't even realize that they took that much bone marrow out of my hip bones. And that exact same day, I went to Tulsa, an hour and a half away, and picked up a new Jeep and drove all the way back. I felt fine. Next day I was working out, everything was cool. But then we find out that the procedure failed.
Unfortunately, an infection killed my transplant. So I was devastated. Several months later, I went in again for a stem cell transplant. So the same procedure, I went in 7 days for chemotherapy to wipe out my immune system. My son went to the Oklahoma Blood Institute for stem cell harvest.
The worst part about that procedure was that I had to wait so long. It was a 4-hour procedure for 2 days. That was the only bad part. Everything else was fine. I was feeling fine, woke up fine. I wasn't sore. I didn't feel any pain. I was doing everything I needed to do that day. Everything was just normal.
My recovery is slower because I received transplant from a half match. But I wouldn't be where I am today without the help of the medical teams, the blood donors, my son, and the prayers and support of friends and family. So I'm very thankful for that.
I think everyone should sign up just in case, because I didn't think my mom was going to be in this situation, this position that she's in. So, I mean, they haven't even called me yet. You never know. You could be saving someone's life. You could save your mom's life. You could be saving anyone's life. And what's a better feeling than to save someone's life and give life to someone? Because, you know, they have a full life to live just like you do.
Every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer, like leukemia. It can happen to anyone at any time, but so can a cure, like a bone marrow or a cord blood transplant. Please consider registering and becoming a donor on Be the Match.